Hi, I'm Chris with Yoko CEO. Today I'm going to walk you through a project we completed with Inova's Heart and Vascular Institute. If you're not familiar with them, as you can see here on the homepage, they are one of the top-ranked cardiovascular programs in the world. But if you've looked at their old site, you may not have gotten that impression, and that was one of the reasons we got brought in to work with them, was to help make sure that the site really reflected who the organization was, and beyond that, help the organization move forward to who they were becoming. They continue to recruit some of the top candidates across a couple different areas within their programs, and they wanted to make sure that whenever those people from wherever they are in the world take a look at them, they understand and recognize right off the bat through the impression that the site makes that this is indeed a top-ranked program. Beyond that, they wanted to make sure that they provided a wealth of information to basically the world at large, but specifically their local patient population, and then of course make it much easier for the local patients to interact with, find a physician, and of course connect with the doctor, or connect with a certain piece of information. There's a couple different tests and some things that we'll show you built into the site that allow people to have better proactive care as well. And so all that kind of builds up to a couple different objectives that Inova Heart and Vascular had for the site itself, which was to have a little bit of its own standalone branding and better connect with those different communities and stakeholders. So what I'll walk you through is kind of how the site built out actually goes about accomplishing that. First thing, we're not going to show kind of a before and after in this case, but if you look up the older Inova Heart and Vascular branding, it was really built off of the same kind of branding that encompasses the system as a whole. The program wanted to show that while of course they are part of the Inova family, they could stand on their own a little bit, and so we helped create a little bit of a more visual identity that is obviously consistent with Inova as a whole, but also stands out a little bit. Beyond that, they wanted to make sure that information was readily apparent about the organization itself, and so you get a chance to kind of see all of the information that they provide, including positioning themselves as the leaders that they are, especially important for every one of those stakeholders and audiences, but especially for recruits to understand who they are, how they play into kind of this global world, and why you'd want to come work with this program. Beyond that, you can also see a little bit more information about their facilities, the physicians themselves, the areas they specialize in. There are also video tours available on the site that you can actually see the hospitals and the locations themselves before you ever step in. If anyone's ever stepped into a large hospital system without any preface before, they can sometimes be a little bit confusing or intimidating. They're usually pretty large, so these videos are there to help people understand what they're going to get into before they get into it and better navigate the campuses whenever they arrive. To connect with the audiences, specifically patients and anyone seeking information, they provide additional information here under conditions and treatments, which includes an entire library around what each of these different, be it a actual treatment, a tool, or the condition itself, information on each of those. And there's also an entire patient education section, so it's built into the site here, where you can actually take a look at a wealth of information that's built in, including something that I think is pretty cool and is really just indicative of the community outreach that Inova has, especially their heart and vascular program, which is their dome experience. For any of you who've ever seen it on TV, or if you've watched any of the medical dramas or anything like that, there's usually a scene or an episode where somebody is actually watching open heart surgery. And Inova actually allows people to come in and do that for free, and that's what they call the dome experience. And you can kind of see it pictured here. And of course, then you can reach out and connect with them if that's something you want to do, be it with a program or just on your own if it's something that interests you. I just thought it was something really, really cool that they do that kind of helps set them apart. Beyond that, you can also surf through here to see what kind of different events they have going on. You can learn more about the center, and of course, you've got an entire education section here that allows you to learn more about everything that kind of goes into a heart and vascular program, be it the simple conditions and the treatments, what it's like to be a patient, what it's like to support a patient or somebody going through care for one of these things, and depending on where you're coming from in terms of your background, it's pretty startling how quickly people actually get better. One of my favorite patient testimonials here is Diana, and you can see here, I'll let you read it on your own, but she's over 70 years old, had a heart transplant, and actually 11 days later was up and walking again. So a lot of people think like, oh, you have something that massive in terms of surgery, you're going to be down for a while, but it's incredible how far medicine has come, and it's in large part because of organizations like Inova's Heart and Vascular Institute that continue to kind of push the future. And it's just really exciting to be a part of what they've built here and to help connect the actual organization with its audience through the web. And of course, what we were really happy to see here is a easier, cleaner, simpler to use website that works across desktops, mobile devices, tablets, all that fun stuff. We've seen an increase in engagement across all of those different stakeholder types, be they recruits, people simply seeking information, and patients themselves. Not only engagement on the website with patients, but better throughput with those patients. So having patients actually read information on the site, understand what it is Inova Heart and Vascular Institute can do for them, and then actually click to either email, call, or book an appointment, which is pretty incredible, especially whenever you kind of see some of what was going on before. Beyond that, the site also serves as a wonderful platform for simply sharing information with the world at large. One of my favorite is if you take a look at heart attack versus stroke, which is a pretty common search, you can see they actually have one of the number one ranked articles. And so this is the kind of information they house here. And while yes, it's really useful for their patient community that's here locally, it's really put here to be to help the world at large. And being able to help people in all these different capacities is a big part of what we love to do here at YoCoCO, which is why it's just really, really exciting opportunity and an honor to be able to help these guys really put all of this together and help the program really stand on its own and prove that they are who they say they are here in the theater of the mind of the web. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about their site, or if you have any questions about yours or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us. You can go to yokoco.com, yokoco.com, and the link, of course, is down in the description. Take care.